Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Watcher of the Forest. How are you doing today? Thank you so much to everyone who has liked, subscribed, and commented. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. I wish to thank my spiritual team, ancestors, and angels for always being there for me. Through thick and thin, they're always there for me, protecting me, guiding me through every realm. Thank you so much. I love you all. So let's get into this reading. It's for the collective, okay? So it doesn't matter, you know, it's just for everyone, male and female. Anyways, let's get into it. So whoever I'm reading for, right now you're filled with anxiety and you're just up at night, not sleeping, right? And I don't know what's going on in your head or what thoughts are keeping you up at night. Only you know that, right? But what I can say to you is try to find calm within yourself. And, you know, that will bring you relief, of course, right? And then you'll start sleeping better. Maybe take a hot shower or a hot Epsom bath before you go to sleep. And turn off your computer and TV before, I want to say at least an hour or 2 hours before you go to sleep. Calm your mind down, right? So you're not sleeping, or so you're sleeping, so you're not sleeping. You're not sleeping now. You've got too much anxiety, too much inner turmoil that, you know, whatever is keeping you up, if you can't put a stop to that issue or whatever it is, you're just going to have to find some place or, you know, find some way to calm your mind, right? And I hope that you do find relief and you're able to sleep. So, and then it looks like you did something for yourself, right? You are experiencing new beginnings and, you know, it's freedom, right? Especially if you can't sleep. Anything that would helped you. You're experiencing freedom. What risks are you willing to take? And I'm not talking about taking anything, you know, bad for your health or anything like that. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. You must take a leap in the unknown. Maybe you're meditating before you go to sleep because that would help you sleep, right? But don't do exercising before you sleep because that'll just keep you awake. So I think you had to release some burdens and hard work. You know, what responsibilities are overwhelming you? You know, people just think, oh, I can't sleep, but it's a lot more than that, right? It's our responsibilities that are weighing us down. And maybe, you know, I don't know what your situation is, but maybe you have a partner who's out of town. And so now you're doing, you know, responsibilities for two people, right? And maybe it's too much. And that's okay. You know, if you have to transition, you know, you might have to transition. Like maybe you can ask a friend to come over and help you out. You know, like say like if your partner mowed the grass and it's getting high, but you're just too busy with the kids and the inside chores, maybe you can ask a friend to come over and mow your lawn for you. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. You know, if you can reach out and ask for help, you know, reaching out and asking for help is a strength. It really is. Not a lot of people do that. And I want you to be comfortable in doing that. The first time, you know, it might be a little bit awkward, but if you can just reach out and say, hey, I'm really busy, you know, I've got, you know, the kids to take care of and Brad is away on a conference. Can you please come over and mow the lawn? I know he'd really appreciate your help. And, you know, yeah, you will get help, right? You'll always get help. So I don't want you to feel like you're at a imbalance in your life, right? And that you have loss of balance. You know, the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. It really does. A lot of people think, oh, you know, single moms, oh, I can do it all. Yeah, you can do it all for a certain period of time until you get burnt out, right? Burnt out, stressed out, exhausted, right? Just so tired. And there's other people out there willing, good people, you know, that are willing and ready to help you out. All you have to do is ask. So it looks like you're having a rebirth and an awakening. Yay! I think that you went and you asked some people to help you out. And that's just so awesome, because like I said, it takes a village to raise, a child. It really does. So you're asking people for help. Yep, you're letting go. You're letting go of the burdens because you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had thought of this. I wish I had thought of asking, Tom for help to mow the lawn. And, maybe your significant other is away at a conference. Maybe he's home with a broken leg or a broken arm. You know what I mean? It can be anything. And just maybe you're a single parent and you just need the help. Everyone needs help every now and then, but it's so nice to have a rebirth, right? And a rebirth can be for anything. It can be for like, before I was carrying all this, you work your full-time job and your two kids are in daycare and then you pick them up and then you come home, and you've got to take care of them and do the laundry and clean the house and whatnot, right? And make dinner. And sometimes people think that making dinner is just so easy. It really isn't, right? Because a lot of times when like you're working, whether it's full-time or part-time, right, and you come home and then you got your stuff to do at home, a lot of times people are bringing that work from they're bringing the work back home. And I'm not saying that you're working home for your job. I'm just saying it's in your mind still, right? So that's in your mind, and then you're piling on top of your kids, are screaming and running around, and that adds stress. And then even though they're having fun, right? But what I want to say is if you can leave your work life at work, like when you're driving home, if you have anything to vent it out in your car to yourself, even if you have to scream, cry, laugh, whatever, do it. By the time you pull up into your driveway, you say to yourself, okay, work is at work and now I'm home, right? And clear your mind if you can. Maybe do a couple of meditations, for like 5 minutes in your car just to clear your mind, right? And then when you walk into your house, now you're starting from scratch, right? And now you can deal with your kids, and go and have fun with them, play with them for like a half an hour, right? And when you do that, you kind of like shift your perspective on things, right? Before at work you were adulting, right? And now you're playing with your children, right? Showing them that you love them, right? I mean, they know that you love them, but when you play with them, oh my God, it's so special to them, right? It is so special when you play with your children. It really is. So then not a lot of things are stressful, but still ask for help. Ask your neighbors for help. Ask your community for help. Ask your parents if they live close. Hey, can you take the kids for an hour tonight? I just want to relax and take an Epsom bath or whatever, right? Can you take them to the park? Can you take them for a walk around the block a couple of times? You know what I mean? You just have to be creative and ask other people for help. It's just to make your life a lot easier, right? Especially if your partner is away, just call on other people. So you are finding your inner wisdom, right? You're realizing, oh my gosh, I can do it all. I can, as a lot of us do and have done it all by ourselves, right? We can. But do you need to? No, there's nothing that you need to prove to anybody else. And you certainly don't need to prove to yourself that you're a superwoman or a superman, right? Doing everything by yourself. Everyone knows raising children is extremely difficult. It's hard, it's stressful, but it's very rewarding also, right? But like I said, it takes a village to raise one child. So do yourself a favor. There's nothing to prove. You don't have to prove to other people. You don't have to prove to your parents or your siblings or your boss or your coworkers. You don't have to prove anything, even to yourself, that you can do everything by yourself. you can just, maybe you can invite other parents over and say, hey, I'm having a potluck. Bring your kids over. They'll all have a nice play date. It's really nice out tonight. We'll have it out in the backyard. All the kids can come over and play, and we'll just sit around and talk and bring something to share, right? That's a great idea. I wish I had done that when I was raising my daughter. That would have been an awful lot of fun. So, yes, you're giving. You're a very giving person, you know. You give a lot at your job, right? You get a lot of your work done. You take on work from other people when they're out sick or on vacation, and then you come home, and that's where the giving and sharing, right? The reciprocity can take place. You know, like I said, just invite other parents around, have them bring a dish to pass, and you ladies or men get to sit around and not drink. No, this is not a social event, right? This is just an event, catching up with your friends. Hey, how you doing? You know, how's Tommy and Susie doing, right? And then you share ideas. You know, it's all about reciprocity. Sharing food, sharing ideas, sharing the love, right? So let's get some other cards on this. That was a really good reading. I had no idea I was going to talk about that, so that was a surprise to myself also. But when you start sharing, you know, reciprocity with other people, sharing the love, giving and sharing, showing compassion and charity to other people, it's like I want to say what do I want to say? It rounds you out, right? And I want to say that when you can do that, ask other people in your life to help you out, and then you help other people out in return, whether it's to work or, you know, even just all of you parents, you know, around eating dinner, and the kids are eating dinner and then they're out playing, right? You're like helping the other moms and dads out, right? Because maybe they were stressed also at home, wondering what they're going to do. And then thank God you called, right? I mean, seriously, thank God you called and said, hey, I'm having a potluck tonight. This is what I made. Can you make something and bring it over? And let's all get together out on the patio. You know, the kids can eat dinner and then go out and play. And we'll be right there watching them, you know, because my backyard is huge and I have all these toys out there. So, you know, come on over. And they're like, oh my God, thank God, you know, Claire called, and now we can go over and do that. Hey kids, do you want to go have a play date over at Claire's house? Yeah, we do. You know, and so you're relieving stress from however many friends that you invite over, right? I mean, that's just awesome. And then when all your friends are there and you guys are eating dinner, you can say, okay, tonight was my night. Whenever you're feeling stressed or whatnot, give us a call and say, okay, it's at my house now. Let's have a potluck and everybody can come over. And then you can just call it like the potluck circle, you know, and each adult takes a turn hosting everyone. And I just mean hosting at their house, but everyone, you know, brings a dish and to share, right? And the kids get a play date, and so you're not as stressed out, right? So you could call it the potluck, I don't know, potluck share or potluck, you know, getting together or whatever, right? But just, you know, do that for yourself so you're not filled with anxiety, and then you're helping other parents relieve their anxiety and also, right? So now everyone's sleeping well at night. Isn't that lovely? I mean, seriously, I wish I had thought of that. Like I said, when my daughter was younger, that would have been wonderful. But I hope that helps a lot of you out there. Step by step. I embrace patience, trusting that time will bring my goals to fruition. I release control and understand that the true value lies in the journey, not just the outcome. I allow my life to unfold one step at a time, fully present in each moment, knowing my soul is steadily rising toward the light. Yeah, that's beautiful. You know, you are the light for your friends, right? You definitely are. When you invite them over and say, hey, I'm having a potluck tonight, come on over and bring your kids, right? Whoops. Okay. So the first card we got was hesitation or fear of failure may be blocking your next step. Trust in your ability. Yes, trust in your ability. It doesn't matter if you make something from scratch or if it's from a box. You're still sharing food, right? You're still sharing of yourself, your home, your resources with other people. So don't let that bother you at all. You don't have to make food from scratch. You can just make it out of a box, you know, add some ingredients to it, put it in the oven, voila, there you go. That's food, right? And that's fine. Nobody's asking you to be perfect. Wavering commitment may be delaying progress. Renew your dedication to your goal. Yeah. So just, you know, get out of your head a little bit if you can, right? Just get out of your head and just think, whatever I make, everyone's going to love. And they will. No one's going to put up their nose to anything that you make for them, right? But that's for anything, really. Renew your dedication to your goal, whatever your goal is for yourself. The path ahead is illuminated. Follow the light. Yeah. So we have 2 cards on light. That's wonderful. How about an affirmation? An affirmation for this beautiful reading, please, spiritual team. With every thought, I am transforming my inner critic into a supportive and encouraging friend. Yeah. You know, don't be so hard on yourself. You did the best you could while you were at work. You're doing the best you can at home, right? And that's all you can do. The best that you can do. And that's enough, you know? So thank you so much for listening and watching this reading. And I hope you got something out of it. You know, I used, the story was a person, male or female, going through a rough patch because their partner was away and trying to find, you know, people to help out, right? So you're not so stressed, so you can release your anxiety, right? And find calm in your life. You can put this storyline to whatever is in your life, right? So I hope that helps you. I hope I gave you some really good ideas to help you relieve stress and anxiety in your life. So let me know in the comments, okay? I'd love to hear from you. Anyways, thank you so much for listening and watching. And I'll catch you on the next one. And take care.